Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to take a first look at JSON, which is an acronym that stands for JavaScript Object Notation. But as we'll see, JSON has applicability far beyond JavaScript, and support for it is built into Android, and it's basically a data format for transferring data between clients and servers or vice versa. So let's just take a look at an example in this video, and in the next tutorial we'll get on to actually working with JSON and doing some coding. So as an example, well, a lot of websites run kind of JSON servers, or they have servers, and JSON might just be one format that they supply. And Twitter, at least at the moment, has a JSON server. So let's say Twitter JSON in Google here, and search for some information about it. Twitter JSON, actually I think that's probably what we want, the top one here, although it has a kind of strange title. And yeah, if I scroll down here we've got an example of a URL that's meant to retrieve data in a JSON format. So let's just copy that for the moment and paste it into a browser. So I just searched for Twitter JSON there, pretty simple, and the first URL I came to, and I scrolled down, and that had a example of a URL that retrieves JSON, which is this, but we're going to take a closer look at that stuff in a minute. So actually this is JSON, but I want to show you something more interesting than whatever the default output is. This is some kind of example output, I think. And there's a joke internet site called The Onion. If you search for The Onion, it's this thing here, and it has kind of American news, but it's all made up. And they have, at the moment at least, a Twitter feed with the name The Onion. So if I go to this example JSON URL and replace the screen name here with, I don't think it's case sensitive, but just to be sure I'll type The Onion, capital T, capital O, but I think it doesn't matter. It depends how they've implemented it, because this is just a parameter that they're retrieving, you see. And I hit return, and here is The Onion Twitter feed, which again looks like nothing at the moment. And I'm going to change this count here to 5, and that'll probably get me some more stuff. And if you look in amongst this huge wad of data, you can pick out stuff that looks kind of interesting, I think. Like, well, it is quite a job. But here's some text: top books of 2012, and no doubt those are probably joke books or something, I don't know. And this is a thankless task. So let's just copy this URL. I've copied it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to type into Google JSON formatter, and there are a bunch of online formatters that format the JSON so that you can read it more easily. Let's just go to this top link here and see how that is. And here we've got a nice big box where I can paste my JSON, so I'll try that. Whoops, that's the URL actually. Let's paste the JSON into this URL box here and try process. That looks good. So now this is the same data as this, but it's just formatted a lot more nicely. And now we can begin to pick out interesting stuff. What do you think was the top entertainment industry story of 2012? And if we scroll down a bit, I'm sure we'll find other sort of interesting odds and ends. Let's see. I was kind of expecting headlines. Yeah, and here we are. Like, for example, Apple unveils new iPhone kit specifically towards college-age girls, and there's this kind of text. This is actually a key. So now, having spotted this, if I were to search for key in here, so I'll search. Sorry, if I were to search for text in quotes, then here I can find these look like to me like Onion headlines. Now the format of this is, in JSON you can represent two different things basically. You can have arrays which are formatted by having square bracket and then a bunch of entries separated by commas. So if we scroll down a bit, we'd see some commas like this one. Commas separate entries in arrays. And also you can have a kind of representation of hashes, or like the idea of key value pairs, which are surrounded by these curly parentheses. So here within this curly parenthesis we've got, that's a key and this is a value, and so on, and text is a key and a value, and the key value pairs are separated by commas also. So here we're saying here this opens an array, and here we've got a set of key value pairs, a hash, and that actually has other stuff in it, like maybe embedded arrays, embedded hashes, so data structures within data structures. And here this is where the hash ends, and this is another actually that's probably not where the hash ends. Well, it is quite difficult to read. I think that's where the first hash ends, and there's a comma and another entry in the array starts here, and the second entry is also a hash. So in fact I'm beginning to see now that the entries are, each of them starts with created at. So we've got in here probably, whoops, don't know what happened there. We've probably got, because in the URL I specified a count here, whoops, of 5. I'm guessing that within this array I've got 5 entries, and each entry is a hash. So you've got the hashes, key value pairs, and you've got array entries, which is values, and the values in the key value pairs and the entries in the array can themselves either be an array or a hash. So you build up this complex data structure, and we're gonna start working with this in the next tutorial, and I'm gonna write a little program that downloads this JSON feed from Onion and just get some information out of it. So join me again then, and until next time, happy coding.